In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 days that changed history. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for the future updates. Here are top 10 days that changed history. So let's start. June 8, 1610, a Lord's landfall. The Virginia colony failed 3 years after it was established. On June 7, a small group of hungry settlers gathered their few belongings and departed from Jamestown in the direction of England. They were shocked to see a fleet approaching the following morning with Lord de la Warr as the new governor and a year's supply of supplies. Virginia might have perished like so many other lost colonies if it weren't for his appearance. It's possible that the southeastern United States, as it exists today, may have ended up in the Dutch or French empires. The first African slaves might not have arrived in 1619, and tobacco may never have been a lucrative cash crop. October 17, 1777, victory along the Hudson. The British General John Burgoyne's surrender at Saratoga should be given the true honor of establishing America's independence, if there is one date that deserves it. The significance of the battle was more diplomatic than military since, soon after news of it reached Paris, the French king made the decision to join the American side in the conflict. June 20, 1790, Jefferson's dinner party. Thomas Jefferson had a dinner party at his rented home on Maiden Lane in Lower Manhattan this evening and invited James Madison and Alexander Hamilton. They mediated one of the most significant political bargains in American history throughout the course of the evening, Jefferson recalled. According to the agreement, the 13 states' massive war debts would be assumed by the new government, and the nation's capital would be located on the Potomac. New York might have remained the nation's capital if that supper hadn't happened. But more importantly, according to Hamilton biographer Ron Chernow, the central government's supremacy might never have been created. He claims that the most effective bonding strategy used by the new Union was the acquisition of state debts. Without it, the federal government would have been far more decentralized. April 19, 1802, mosquitoes win the West. Events that affect America sometimes take place outside of its borders. The spring of 1802 comes to mind. Napoleon dispatched a powerful force led by his brother-in-law, Law's General Charles Leclerc, to put down the ex-slave insurrection in Haiti. Leclerc informed Napoleon on April 19 that the rainy season had begun and his troops were becoming unwell. Nearly every member of the French force, including Leclerc, had died of yellow fever brought on by mosquitoes before the end of the year. January 12, 1848, an ill-advised speech. He could not have chosen a worse time to launch a vicious attack on President Polk and his half-insane extreme militarism as the Mexican War was on the verge of being won. Congressman Abraham Lincoln's political career appeared to be gone almost from the time he sat down again due to his anti-war stance, which he had chosen as most Americans were getting ready to celebrate their victories. Yet Lincoln's speech rescued him. Author of Lincoln's Melancholy, Joshua Wolf Schenck, claims that it sent him into the political wilderness. This protected him during the divisive political years of the early 1850s, when Americans were deeply divided over slavery, and placed him in a position to emerge as a national leader just before the Civil War. Lincoln's early gaffes also helped shape him into a pragmatic rather than merely a moralist. The Lincoln of history, the Lincoln who rescued the Union, would never have been if he had been successful in the 1840s, claims Mr. Schenck. April 16, 1902, the movies. The popularity of movies looked doomed to fade away. The novelty of live vaudeville had worn off only a few years after Edison's first unpolished newsreels were shown, largely in penny arcades with carnival games and other inexpensive attractions. Later, in the spring of 1902, Thomas L. Talley launched his Electric Theater in Los Angeles, a revolutionary new business specializing in motion pictures and other high-tech gadgets of the time, such audio records. February 15, 1933, the wobbly chair. 5 shots at a distance of 25 feet should have made it a simple shot. However, the assassin, anarchist Giuseppe Zangara, lost his footing while sitting on a shaky chair and instead of shooting President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt, fatally injured Chicago's mayor while they were shaking hands. March 2, 1955, almost a heroine. Local and national civil rights leaders backed a courageous young African-American lady who was detained for refusing to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. The 15-year-old Claudette Cole then appeared destined to become a symbol of the fight against segregation. But then, not long after her arrest on March 2, she got pregnant. The organizers of the organization thought that an unmarried young mother would not be an appropriate emblem, so they pursued legal action with another volunteer, Rosa Parks. According to historian Douglas Brinkley, this switch caused a delay, which allowed Martin Luther King Jr. to take the lead. September 18, 1957, Revolt of the Nerds. On this day in Mountain View, California, 8 lab workers left their jobs out of frustration with their manager. Frustrated, they decided to carry out the research independently after their boss, William Shockley, chose not to pursue the study of silicon-based semiconductors. The researchers later invented the microprocessor and were dubbed the Treacherous Eight, and to found Intel, among other companies. The electronic industry, Silicon Valley, and the entire digital age all had their beginnings on September 18, according to Mr. Shockley's biographer, Joel Shurkin. August 20, 1998, just missed. Few Americans paid much attention when the United States fired 60 cruise missiles against al-Qaeda training sites in Afghanistan because most Americans were preoccupied with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. The main topic of discussion in the public was whether or not President Clinton had ordered the strike to draw attention away from his internal problems. Although the circumstances of that day remain in question, some versions claim that the attack may have missed killing Osama bin Laden by as little as an hour. The history that is still being written may eventually shed light on how that would have altered both America and the rest of the world. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.